On today's episode of the Passion Driven Life Project /Widow Wednesday, I'm going to teach you how to take awesome pics of your truck. So here's the thing, I am super stoked that so many of our Passion Driven SCA truck owners have decided to participate in the #Widow Wednesday photo contest. I want every single one of you to have a chance to win, and I want the Widow Wednesday photo contest to become the most epic photo contest on the internet. But I gotta be honest, sometimes I look at these photo submissions and, no offense, but I feel kind of bad because I know that some of these photos don't even have a chance. Now, I ain't no professional or nothing like that, never have claimed to be, but I have learned a few things from being in this position for as long as I have, and I'm reasonably confident that with just a few pointers, I can help you take your pics from sad to star status. I mean, pretty quick, probably by next Widow Wednesday. Now, I'm unofficially gonna label this class a beginner's class because we're not getting into anything too serious, but what we're gonna do is focus on the 3 L's. Lighting. What's the second L? Layout and landscape. Let's talk about lighting first. Always remember that softer light is better light. Basically what that means is you want to shoot earlier in the morning or later in the day. When the sun's directly overhead, it's super harsh and it creates on the truck what are known as hot spots where they're super bright. The camera chooses to focus on those super bright spots instead of the truck as a whole. When the light is softer, it's more evenly spaced across the whole thing. Speaking of lighting, that lighting I was just shooting in with that camera angle was terrible. So I'm gonna move. Let's see here. Light test. Is this better? Oh yeah, that looks super good, much better. All right, lighting rule number 2, almost always shoot with the sun at your back, or the sun, like if your truck is right here, you want the sun to be here, right? Let me just show you a couple of examples. Okay, so from this perspective, the sun is actually kind of coming down on the truck at this angle, and you can tell because all the light is focused on the front end of the truck. Not that bad. It does get darker towards the front. That all kind of has to do with layout, but we'll talk about that in a minute. One other quick thing I want to throw in here that I didn't mention earlier in regards to soft or harsh light. Even if it is later in the day, there are ways that you can soften up the light depending on where you put the truck and if there are trees in the landscape or other types of objects that can help shield the sun to put the truck in a shaded place. This is a perfect example of what shooting into the sun looks like. See, the camera is trying to focus on the brightest object in the frame, and it totally darkens the truck up where it basically turns into a silhouette. You can't see no detail. Nobody even really knows what that is. Next, let's talk about layout. Layout in photography is formally actually referred to as composition. Now, there's a lot of different types of compositions that a photographer will put in their repertoire depending on the message that they're trying to send. But for purposes of this contest, I'm just going to focus on one rule, and it's known as the rule of thirds. Now, to make it super simple for you to understand, most of you are probably taking pictures on your smartphone. And most smartphones' camera apps are equipped with a grid. You'll see 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines, which breaks the frame up into, let me make sure that I'm telling you this right, which breaks the frame up into 9 separate squares. What you want to do is make sure that your truck is positioned in a way that the main focus area is lined up in the cross section of one of those. Probably best again if I just show you a picture or two so that you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. So look right here. One of my vertical and horizontal grid lines intersect right here in the center cap of that wheel. This is what's known as a front quarter shot. So I want the main focus area to be the wheel and the front quarter of the vehicle. Golly, look at that hot spot right there. Now this right here is what's referred to as a rear 3/4 shot. And once again, I've got my vertical and horizontal lines intersecting right there in the center cap of that wheel. So if that's what you want people to focus on, then placing it in that position means that people's eyes are gonna naturally be drawn there, and then on up the rest of the vehicle. Now let's say that you want to take a shot of a logo or some other detail that's on the truck. Once again, I've got my vertical, horizontal lines intersecting right in the center of this logo, so your eye is naturally drawn there. But what you want to be careful of is in this type of shot, you want to make sure that if you're going to focus here, that there's still something over here that people want to look at. Which brings me to my third and final L, landscape. Main thing, well, 2 main things that I can say about landscape. Number 1, beware of your surroundings. Number 2, what message are you trying to send with the photo that you're trying to take? Let me give you a good example. If I take this picture right here, great focus on the SCA badge. But if there's a dumpster over here, it's not really communicating the most awesome message. So it's probably not gonna win. But if I take that same picture and there's an epic beach in the background, or a life moment that you wanna share, or a opposing family member that you wanna show off like Kenneth Gay did in this pic right here, that won him Widow Wednesday with 115 likes? Woo! I bet y'all did not see that coming. Kenneth, I already know that you won, but I wanted to go ahead and publicly congratulate you on your huge victory. So if you'll just send me your email in a private message, I'll send you a coupon for some free stuff to SCAPerformancegear.com. All right, so let's review things that make a great #Widow Wednesday photo. Number 1 is light. Softer is better, and can you see that? Put it behind you. Number 2 is layout. Use the rule of thirds grid on your smartphone. It's super easy. Here's some examples. And number 3, landscape. Now, if you're trying to do a truck showcase, you want it to look something like this. If you're trying to do a detail shot, you want it to look like this. And if you're trying to do an adventure shot, you want it to look like this. Now my hope is that each and every one of you will take this information that I have given and go out there and take the best #Widow Wednesday pic you've ever taken in your life, so that one day you too can call yourself champion of Widow